Heidi ho, my friends. So I just wanted to say something to you real quick. When I share anything, it's not because I think I've already done it, because no, that's not it at all. It's just things I notice and think and that I may have been working through. So I'm like, let me share it with you. So I just want to share with you about relationships on social media and in person. So I think sometimes it's fun to share about, how bad your day's been or about the terrible service you received somewhere. And I think a lot of times what happens is we, especially believers, we have begun to think this lie that it's okay to vent to people. In fact, I've had people tell me when I tell them, I say, don't call them vent. They'll say, no, it's healthy to vent. And I totally disagree with that. And if you disagree with me, I don't want to debate it. I love you, but I think it's wrong to vent. I think what happens when we vent to each other is we stir up anger and frustration, and we become known as that negative person. Especially when we vent on social media. I don't know how many times I scroll past, I'm like, okay. Yeah, I get that you're upset. I feel that way all the time. I get terrible service. I call somewhere and they don't return my phone calls for 3 years. But venting online and in person with your friends, I just want to encourage you in this, is that it's really not going to make you feel any better. What happens is we stroke each other's egos and we're like, oh, I feel so bad for you. You have it so rough. And we think that makes us close friends, but it really doesn't. Listen, I know I'm not a crazy person, because Philippians 4:8 says this. It says, whatever is noble, whatever is true, whatever is right, whatever is lovely, think upon such things. And it says, whatever is excellent and praiseworthy, think upon such things. I believe that was written in the Bible because, for one, it's wisdom. When we sit and we stew about what's wrong with our country, and we sit and we just think about how badly we were treated when we went out to eat, and we sit and we vent about the person that cut us off, or how rough our life is. For one, we lose gratitude in our lives, and we lose perspective that says, I have a blessed life. I live in a blessed country. I wake up, I have food in my belly, I have a nice car. We forget the gratitude of those things. We forget where we've come from. Two, what happens is when we vent and we think about those things, it actually stirs up selfishness in our life. It's the attitude of, I shouldn't have to wait on anyone. I should never be inconvenienced. I should never be cut off. I should never be too hot or too cold. I shouldn't have to fill in the blank. And I know that you probably think, no, that's not it at all. I just want someone to hear what I'm going through, and I just want to connect to them and let them encourage me. Well, that would be called asking for prayer or asking for encouragement. That's a little different than venting. Venting is like when you have a pot of boiling water in a kettle, and all of a sudden the steam just blows out the top and it makes a really loud noise. That's venting. It lets some pressure out. However, you're not a teapot. And so when you let pressure out through venting and through anger, it actually makes the pressure in you worse. Now, if you go to your friend and say, let me tell you what I'm going through, I need some encouragement, that's great. And really, that's what venting should be. Going to someone and asking for encouragement and asking for understanding. So you may be like, Jonelle, I have vented for years and there's nothing wrong with me. And, please don't be mad at me. But I do want to say this to you, that we become known as the people of what we say. And what we think about is what we become obsessed with. And so I would encourage you to think about what's good in your life. What's actually good in our country? What's good in your husband? What's good in your wife? What's good in your children? What's lovely in your life? What do you wake up and see that's beautiful? What's pure in your life? What is admirable and praiseworthy? We play a game with my kids, or we pray a lot in the car and at night. But my little girl, it's 3, starts her prayers with, Lord, I thank you full. And she thanks the Lord full, everyone she knows and all the good things in her life. And sometimes it's, I thank you for Minnie Mouse. Sometimes it's, I thank you for Reese, and she names all the people she loves. But I have learned a lot through prayer, listening to my 3-year-old, or been reminded of prayer. She spends more time thanking the Lord for the little things in her life than she ever asked him to do anything. And I want to encourage you today to stop and say, what am I actually grateful for and thankful for? When I see my friends, am I thanking them for their friendship or encouraging them, or am I venting? I think that really it's become a culture where all we do is vent and talk about how rough it is. It's funny to see how bad our life is. Oh, my kids pooped and they threw it on the wall and I had to wipe up the floor and oh my gosh, I had to do dishes and then I didn't get to sleep. And I think what happens is we have become a venting culture, even in the church, and we have become a complaining culture. And I want to encourage you today to be different, to find what God has done and thank Him for it, to think about those things and watch your life change. Watch your situation change. Don't be like everybody else. First of all, don't listen to gossip. Try to walk away from it. 2, don't be someone who just vents and lets it all out, because you'll pay for it. And 3, I would encourage you in be thoughtful about what your thoughts are. And when you have negative thoughts about people creep up in your mind, I say out loud, nope, I'm not believing that. Nope, I'm not thinking that. I've been set free from that. No, I'm not going to worry. Worry, you're not creeping in my life. I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to worry. You're going to be treated wrong. You're going to go places and they don't treat you right. And you are going to be cut off in traffic. And you are going to disagree with what's on the news. You're going to disagree with things. But all I can tell you is if you want to have joy in your life, you've got to protect it. You've got to protect what you think about and protect what's said to you. And that is worth just about more than any money I can think of, having joy and peace and happiness in my life every day. So anyways, hope you had a great day. And no, this was not me venting. This was me encouraging and teaching. Adios.